Killa savato sarà. Che ha risposto che non vedo.
ये स्पीकर रहने देना सो दैट कि यूट्यूब पर बढ़िया सा आवाज आए। ये माइक पे कुछ बात बता वो आना जाना इधर से नहीं
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु ज्ञानरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. So, the distinguished gathering here, the magnificent auditorium of IPA University, Jharkhand, awakens a symphony of intellectual anticipation this glorious morning. Distinguished delegates from across the globe are gracing us with their presence, creating an atmosphere changed with scholarly excitement and professional excellence. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed dignitaries, respected faculty members, and dear participants. With hearts beaming with joy and minds eager with wisdom, I, Amit Chaturvedi, take immense pride in welcoming you to this august gathering, the International Conference on Redefining Responsible and Sustainable Business, aligning AI, society, governance, hosted here by IPA University, Jharkhand. This two-day intellectual confluence promises to blend the spirit of innovation with values of responsibility, thereby carving pathways for sustainable tomorrow. We at IPA always bring promise to bring a change. The two-day intellectual conference does not merely brings an event, but a journey where the spirit of innovation shall blend seamlessly with timeless values of responsibility and sustainability for a harmonious tomorrow. As knowledge illuminates, the wisdom uplifts. It's customary to begin our deliberations by invoking the divine flame may I request all my esteemed colleagues to show face to the invited guests and dignitaries to let them come forward for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp along with our Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, and respected Registrar sir. Please, sir.
Friends, go ahead, get with me.
I request the audience to stand up in their respective places and to give your respect to Mars Saraswati.
या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमाम् आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीमभयदाम्
Sacred kindle within us the zeal for truth, the courage for inquiry, and the humility for lifelong learning. Let us now join together to pay our respect to those who have made us learn what we are today and what we have achieved today. The blessings of Almighty remains with us in our future endeavors. Can I please now welcome Mr. Rakesh Dhar Dubey sir, in fact, Dr. Rakesh Dhar Dubey sir, to begin the endeavor with the vision of chart in its course and give him a chance to delegate the conference and to detail us about what is something we are going to witness now. And along with that, I will invite all the dignitaries and Vice Chancellor sir to take the stage and address the gathering. Rakesh sir, please come on the stage.
Sir, I wish you can occupy the chairs. Vice Chancellor, sir. Registrar, sir. Welcome आप करेंगे हाँ please 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 sir please.
There is a slight change in announcement by our Professor Amit Chaturvedi sir. Thank you, Amit. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome the dignitaries present here. On behalf of ICFA University Jharkhand, I welcome you all to this international conference, Redefining Responsible and Sustainable Business, Aligning AI, Society, and Governments. I'm really indebted to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Honorable Dr. Ranjit Singh, who has always inspired us for doing such types of big events in the university. Welcome you, sir, this occasion. I welcome Professor Ashish Chandra, University of Austin, USA, who is joining us from USA to online mode. Sir, we welcome you.
Thank you.
I also welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Subhasis Rai, XLRI, Jamshedpur. Sir, thank you very much for your kind august presence at this occasion. I welcome Dr. Sandeep sir, XLRI, PIT Mesra, for his kind presence. So we are honored for your kind presence. I am also very thankful to welcome the professors from XIM Bhubaneswar, Professor it's always a pleasure to listen the visionary professors in an academic platform like this. It's really truly an international conference. People around the globe are attending this conference. We feel proud in this moment. I also welcome the dignitaries present of the dais and all the professors present here. Also welcome to all the students of the ICFA University Jharkhand. The theme of the conference is really truly international in nature. It's very big, vast. Just to have one word, artificial intelligence impact sustainability pathways and international relations has grown over the years. AI is an umbrella term whose definitions are multifarious and often includes technologies such as machine learning, neural networks, and all types of autonomous systems. AI is sometimes referred to as a general purpose technology as its use is increasingly universal in a vast array of fields. This extensiveness contributes to an ambiguity that is often reflected in policies and governance. In a simpler way, AI refers to a class of computer programs designed to solve problems requiring sequential reasoning, decision making based on incomplete or uncertain information, classification, optimization, and perception. Aligning AI with society and governance to create responsible and sustainable businesses involves creating comprehensive AI strategies that integrates ethical principles, transparency, and robust governance framework into operations. Business can use AI for sustainability by optimizing resources, reducing waste, and achieving sustainable development goals targets while also ensuring human oversight and trust. Strong AI governance is crucial for accountability, preventing harms, and building societal trust, which is essential for the successful integration of AI to drive both business values and positive societal impact. The technology's analytical capabilities allow business to dematerialize traditional processes, reducing waste while maintaining productivity through data-driven decision making. Now, the strategy alignment and governance refers to how the strategies alignment and governance that a holistic approach in AI strategies. Organizations need a comprehensive strategies for AI that supports overall business goals, not just the technology itself. This strategy must incorporate AI governance, sustainability, skill development, and integrations. Robust governance framework, implementing strong governance programs is essential to ensure AI models are transparent, explainable, and adhere to legal regulations. This builds trust with customers, stakeholders, preventing legal issues and erosion of trust. The third one is the accountability. Businesses are accountable for the outcome of their AI models, making rigorous governance a necessity of managing AI efficiently and ethically. AI for sustainability and social impact, the most important part that we are going to discuss during these 2 days of time, the operational efficiencies. AI can optimize resource allocations, enhance operational efficiencies, and help develop circular systems. It enables data-driven decision-making for processes like climate strategies, energy efficiency, and waste management. Human AI collaboration is the most important aspect so far as the aligning of AI to the business models. A strategic and intentional approach to AI integrations can empower employees by delegating repetitive tasks, allowing them to focus on more complex and value-generating works. Social responsibilities. Responsible AI can be leveraged to address social issues, including diversity and inclusions, employees' training, and mental health, aligning with the principles of corporate social responsibilities. The most important aspect, building trust and transparency. Transparency and explainability, a fundamental aspects of the responsible AI is the ability to understand and explain how AI models arrives at their decisions. This transparency is the key to build the trust. Trusted AI standards provides a common language and operational guidance for principles like safety, transparency, and accountability, promoting interoperability and responsible innovation across the globe. The policy documents and the reports of the United Nations, the European Union, and the World Economic Forum expect AI to contribute to sustainability and prosperous future with better data analysis, greater amount of quantitative knowledge, and by making economic and social activities less wasteful, and more energy efficient. The United Nations addressed AI and sustainable development through resolution made in 2024, while promote safe, secure, and trustworthy AI for 2030 agenda. The discussion will be made on the UN at 2030. The UN emphasizes AI governance should align with human rights and the sustainable development goal, SDGs, aiming to use the AI for a global challenges while mitigating risks like the digital divide and privacy concerns. I'm sure that with this two days of time and so many discussions, there are so many panel members, we will definitely come to a conclusion to have something in our hand to show to this world that actually this conference has given something to the society, to the students, and we'll have a good book chapter in which is coming surely. With this, I thank to all the participants, to all our honorable guests present here, the guests present through online mode, and of the dais. Thank you very much.
For being such a sport and connecting me at the same time. Now, can I please call Director and Chief Convener of the conference today, Dr. Rakesh Bhumisa, to guide us through the roadmap of this intellectual policy.
Good morning, one and all. So finally, the day has come, and our previous speaker already elaborated a lot. But to start formally, I just welcome all dignitaries online, on the desk physically present here, and off the desk, all dignitaries and scholars, authors, students, my colleagues. Actually, it gives me immense pleasure and pride to welcome you all to this international conference on redefining responsible and sustainable business, aligning AI, society, and governance, which we are hosting today. The theme we gather to deliberate upon is not merely timely, it is vital, it is very important. We need to understand. Primarily, we must know that businesses for long was primarily, they were doing with profit motives and profit maximization. That was just the core of any businesses. But in this 21st century, the demand for redefining this business is more, with a very important triple bottom line, and that is profit, people, and of course, planet. And all these three important core becomes the guiding compass for redefinition of the business that is in the demand. Responsible business acts ethically, respects human dignity, and uplifts the community. Sustainable business safeguards the resources and ensures long-term well-being. To redefine business is to weave responsibility and sustainability into very DNA of his strategy and governance. Into this dialogue, we are moving ahead with checking the most transformating forces of our era, that is artificial intelligence. Once a futuristic idealist, AI, today is shaping our finances, our, healthcare, logistics, every aspect of management and whatnot, everything is being controlled by this, artificial intelligence. Yet it brings profound risk also at the same time because of the biases in the algorithms, erosion of privacy, job displacement, digital inequalities, and ethical dilemmas. The question is not whether AI will change the world. It is actually doing. But it is also important to understand whether it will be doing responsibly, inclusively, and of course justly. That is very important to understand. Yes, society emerges as the true stakeholders. AI alters how we work, learn, and live. And society expects accountability, protection of rights, inclusivity, and fairness. Businesses must serve not just a shareholder, but all stakeholders, communities, employees, consumers, and future generation, of course. This social contact requires the support of governance at the same time. Governance ensures checks and balances, ethical frameworks, and accountability. In the era of AI, governance must be anticipatory, agile, and of course global, fortifying data protection, preventive misuse, and ensuring transparency. Without governance of AI, society is at risk. Thus, the imperative is to go for alignment, harmonizing the AI, society, and governance to shape the future that is responsible, more sustainable, and more equal. At this critical moment, our university, ICFI, is just a platform that has taken this initiative to convene this dialogue on the subject that is truly on demand, and through the presence of academic stalwarts, which we are having now, right from United States of America, we are having Professor Ashish Chandra, we are having Dr. Shoha Akiki from France. From Poland, we are having Dr. Klapta. On the dais, we are having from XIMV, two of the great stalwarts. We are having from BIT Mesa, we are having from XRI, Professor Dr. Ray from XISS. So we will be engaging all these great, academicians within the 2 days of our tenure, today as well as tomorrow. This gathering is therefore not only an academic exercise, it is just not an event, but also a moral responsibility and a social commitment that we have taken. It reflects that we, the ICFI platform, and our mission is to nurture not just skilled professionals, but also responsible citizens and change makers. As we commence this journey of ideas, let us ensure that our discussion transcends from this hall to inspire the boardrooms, their meetings of, framing future and the generation ahead, the policy makers, the classrooms, where all future of the nations are sitting in entire globe, every nationalities, their futures are sitting in the classrooms, in the institutions. These discussions within 2 days that we are going to, conduct must be transmitting throughout the society for benefiting by and large. Let us affirm that AI shall serve humanity, business shall serve society, and governance shall safeguard the justice. With these words, I warmly welcome you all once again and declare this conference open for wide discussion and start pathway towards a future that is not only intelligent, but also inclusive, ethical, and sustainable. Thank you very much.
Thank you for Rakesh, such an insightful opening the session. Knowledge, when preserved, becomes an eternal thing that guides generations. As a mark of this academic milestone, may I request our esteemed dignitaries on and off the dais to join together and release the surrender of the seminar of the international conference today. Please join us. Ambassador, the Chancellor, Madam, please join us on the stage.
Please come. Hi. Dr. Razi, please. How are you?
Individually give.
I'll expect. I will expect a brief talk, please. Now, the Supreme Supreme to have some individuals today has a lot of hard work involved with it. I feel thankful Dr. Veda Chaturvedi for being the editor of this souvenir. Great round of applause for her also. And I will give thanks Professor Shivasoda for being the right time while the process was on. I really round of applause for him. So, I sing to our guiding Landi, Colonel Dr. Ranjit Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor, University Jharkhand, to deliver the ceremonial guidance. And I will expect everybody to you 100% of the influence and appreciation. So we are doing the presidential address. Can you please call upon Dr. Subhashi Shri, the guest of honor today, to run over here and give his insights to be on this gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. So my name was a little bit lower on the list and I was, sitting relaxed, thinking I'll listen to others and then speak. So this is a nice surprise, but I think in this way, all speakers would be always on the alert and that their turn could be next. Maybe that's a good strategy, sir. So thanks a lot to Honorable VC, Honorable Registrar, Professor Dubey, and all my faculty colleagues for having me here. My connection with ICFI actually goes back possibly the longest in this room. If you see the picture of this gentleman on the left beside the screen, Mr. N.J. Yasvi, who is the founder of ICFI. So when all these ICFI universities were established, I was part of the team discussing how to do this around the country. So I started my academic career with ICFI almost 22 years back. Deeply grateful to this organization. I won't be, sort of overstating if I say what ICFI did to Indian education is possibly not well documented, but they were pioneers in many, many things that many IIMs have done after them. So, and while speaking to Honorable Vice Chancellor, I also found many of my colleagues of those days are still here. For example, the Chancellor Sir was somebody with whom again I worked fairly closely for a short time. So it's wonderful, sort of, feels like I'm in part of the family. Very quickly, I will talk, because we are a little behind time, I will quickly talk about my thoughts on this timely topic of the conference. So the first is responsible and sustainable business. What do we mean by sustainability? So one meaning of sustainability is something that sustains, continues for a long time. So here is a question to the students. I do a lot of quizzes. So I always ask questions to my audience, irrespective of wherever I go to teach around the world. So here is a question to my students. What is the age of the oldest company still surviving today? Guess without using ChatGPT and Google. Just a guess. You can raise your hand and speak. The age of the oldest surviving company today in the world. Anybody? Students, hope you're not asleep. How many of you think it is more than 500 years? Show of hands. Yes. Google is the oldest. Okay, so before that, an important question is, what is the average age of a company today? The average age of a company, when I was in business school in IIM Calcutta, the average age was 35 years. That's on an average, companies survive. Please take your seat. Good try. So, on an average, companies survive for 35 years. Can you guess how much is it today in the age of startups? When you combine all the companies of the world, on an average, how much they last? It's around 13 years. But the oldest company in the world is around 1500 years old. 1500 years old, a company called Kongo Kumi in Japan. And Japan is one of those countries where you still have around 30 companies which are more than 300 years old. So when we say sustainable business, for me, one answer to that is companies and institutions which last long. I remember in the founding days of ICFI, Mr. N.J. Yashasri used to tell us about Oxford University. It's there for now possibly 800 years or 1000 years. And he used to say that, how can a university last for 1000 years? What do they do? Let us try to make ICFI like that. The companies which last long, if we look at that, in India, for example, I don't know how many of you know about this company. You know of their products. This company is the Wadia Group. And one of the products they make is Bombay Dye. You know Bombay Dye? Bed sheets. So this is around 300-year-old group. So when we study these companies, we see something very interesting. That all of them show certain common characteristics. Whether it is Kongo Kumi in Japan or Wadia Group in India or Merck Group from Germany, and one of them is responsibility. So the topic of today, responsibility and sustainability are aligned. Just think very commonsensically. A business cannot survive for 100 years if it does not pay the employees on time, isn't it? A business cannot survive for 100 years. It always haggles with the suppliers for 1 rupee less. A business cannot survive for 100 years if it is always trying to exploit the customers. So sustainable business are always responsible. They often don't use the terms we use, like sustainable development goals or whatever the jargons. They have this basic sense of responsibility. The second thing we see in these companies, and this is not true only for big companies, even if you look at Ranchi, I invite you to actually find out some old shops in Ranchi. maybe shops which are 70, 80 years old. Have a discussion with them. You will see whatever is true for Wadia Group is also true for them. Second thing they show is values. All these companies, because of the owner, because of the founder, they always have a certain set of values. Values could be to be fair, could be good to the customer, to maintain high quality. So we see the values. And third is something which is possibly not so easy to guess, is flexibility. Companies that last for hundreds of years are very, very flexible. Like Kongo Gumi, I gave you the example of the Japanese company. They started making Buddhist temples. Buddhism was new at that point of time in Japan. But after 2 world wars, they actually became more of a construction company. These companies are very flexible, they are responsible, they have a value system. So here is a question I would like to leave you with on this part of the talk. Is or are sustainability and age inversely correlated? What I'm trying to say in simple language is, very big companies cannot survive for a very long time. Think about that. I don't know the answer. I'm trying to raise some questions. Very big companies cannot survive for a very long time. Just a thought to leave you with. The second topic of the second part of the topic which I want to pick up is AI. I think Professor Dubey gave a very good introduction. Registrar Sir gave a very good introduction. Last year we published a paper in a journal called Technovation. Basically, to be honest, nobody knows what AI is going to do in the future. The more we speak, the more we hear this. That we really don't know where is the end to AI. So we wrote a paper looking at science fiction. You know what is science fiction? So Arthur C. Clarke and all, they wrote about so many things about the future. Jules Verne, the French writer, they were trying to predict. So we picked up a science fiction writer called Satyajit Ray. You have heard about Satyajit Ray? Satyajit Ray wrote science fiction in Bengali. His character was very interesting character who used to stay in Giridih, which is close to Ranchi. He was a scientist called Professor Shanku. And Professor Shanku was a world famous scientist. This is the story. And he used to collaborate with a lot of scientists from around the world. So we actually studied this science fiction to see how the authors are thinking about science. So I will not bore you with the details, but what we found from that paper is most of the people who wrote science fiction were very concerned about the commercialization of science. Even in Professor Shanku's stories, we see very brilliant. So Shanku never wanted to sell science for money. His idea was whatever I invent, that should be good for the common people and the poor people. But a lot of scientists from America, Germany, they said, you sell me the patents of the formula and I'll give you some $1 billion. But one common thing we are finding in that science fiction is that if you leave science, particularly to the Western world, there is a chance that it will become a new exploitative system. What we can call as a techno-colonialism. Like the colonial powers, so like the colonial powers, I think Google or OpenAI or Meta can become the new East India companies. So when they have all your data, they can become the new rulers, and that I see as a risk. The third point about society and governance, the topic from the topic, and I think we are in a perfect time today, because globally, if you look at what is important, a lot of people are talking about tribal societies and tribal culture. And Jharkhand is one place that is built on the tribal identity. To give an example, when I receive emails from professors in Canada and New Zealand and Australia, which is a large number of indigenous people, you know what is written in the bottom of their emails? There is something very interesting. That's a common footer of the email. They say, we have taken our land from the indigenous community and we are grateful to them. I'm talking about University of Wellington, Canadian universities. Whenever the professor writes an email, it is written, we have taken this land from indigenous communities and we are grateful. There is a big focus on indigenous communities, and we in Jharkhand are actually in that place where we can use that to our benefit. Finally, to close, what can we do as an university? What can you do as a student? What can you do as a faculty? Because it is not just about global, it's also about being local. So I have 3 thoughts which I want to leave you with. Couple of years back, I was doing a study on scheduled caste, scheduled tribe entrepreneurs. Okay, we don't even talk about them too much. And I happened to speak to somebody whose name is Doman Tudu, if I remember his name, who is from Jharkhand. And Doman is trying to popularize tribal fashion. He believes that the fashion and the style of the tribal communities have a global impact. So can we try to bring those things in our universities and research? How do the tribal communities look at fashion? And that is not something which is very out of the box. Do you know the recent controversy about Kolhapuri chappals? So companies like Prada, which is a global fashion company, take Kolhapuri chappal, brand them and sell it, I think, for 50,000 or 60,000 rupees. So why cannot we try that in ICFA University, Jharkhand, trying to globalize tribal fashion? The second actionable point, Jharkhand government has got a very interesting initiative called Palash, where they want to promote local entrepreneurship. Can we create Palash as a national brand? So I'm sort of trying to provoke you to act, not just listen and forget. And something that is local, something which is good for the state, good for the university. And third point came up, I think 1 year back, one of the IAS officers, Mr. Karan Satyarthi, you have heard about him? Karan Satyarthi is a very dynamic district collector of Gumla district, which is one of the most backward districts in our country. And Karan Satyarthi was working on making local sanitary pads and trying to distribute it to the market. And he got in touch saying, can we help him promote that? So I want to pass on that challenge to you and say, can we do something for extremely backward districts through business, through technology, through entrepreneurship, all of which are there in this university? I think that is what Mr. NJY, our founder, actually wanted ICFI to do. So it will be great if we can do that. So how can we do these things? 3 ways. One is we can teach about them by writing case studies. ICFI, if you know, is one of the global leaders in case study writing. We can write case studies on them. We can do research on them, biodiversity and industrialization. And of course, we can serve them by maybe doing projects in Gumla or projects around Ranchi. So can ICFA University Jharkhand build a national brand as a part of its mission? That is my sort of dream and challenge I want to leave you with. Thank you very much.
We can tell when we get to your city work, city on Muslim, USA, join us virtually to share this message of encouragement. Dr. Aziz Sharif, please sir.
Do I have a screen share option? Professor Dubey, do I have a screen share? Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir, yes. You have it. How do we do that? How do we do that? Sir, you can share that. Yes.
Can you see it? Okay. Well, I want to thank Professor Dubey for actually inviting me for this conference. I'm really grateful to Akfai University. I will butcher it, so I'll spell it out. ICFAI University. So, but I'm really grateful for having me in this conference along with the other dignitaries from all over the world. I do want to say something about my previous speakers. They made my life easy because they spoke about a lot of the things that I was going to cover today. Let me just start the slideshow here. So I am going to be brief over here, but I'm going to leave, like Professor Ray asked questions to the students, and unfortunately, I'm not over there to ask the questions to the students, but I will propose a challenge for the students. Take whatever you can from here, use it, and benefit the society. That's what I would suggest for you. But we will be giving you a lot of information. Just consider us as the building blocks. We are just a building block for you. You have to build the building and make it good, because you are the next generation we are counting on. So I will talk a little bit about the responsible and sustainable businesses with AI. And then I will take into account the healthcare industry over here. So what is a sustainable business? So if you want to think about it, it is kind of helpful for future generations. Professor Ray talked about a Japanese business which has existed for centuries. It's their business model. It's their philosophy, which has made a difference for future generations. And they were not purely balancing everything on profit only. They were also looking into the people, and they were looking at the planet. So, and a lot of these things you will see are kind of repeats, that when you're talking about a responsible business, ethics is a very big part of it. Perhaps within ethics, you also need to take into account the autonomy of the individuals, which means you need to pay attention to the human rights. Of course, human rights, you can only go if you know about it. Human rights sometimes becomes a subjective matter. What you may consider as something which is humane, somebody else may not. So you have to take into account the culture, the country, the caste, the religion, all the different social backgrounds over there, including income and all that thing. Where do they live in the community? So take all those facts into account. It's not going to be an easy thing to address every aspect of it, but your awareness of those things is very important. Your supply chain management. Your supply chain can be influenced by a whole bunch of things itself. And when we are talking about supply chain, let's just take, for example, healthcare. You have to take into healthcare products the climate, the infrastructure, the personnel. So there's a whole gambit of entities that you have to take into account, and all those stakeholders will make a difference whether you will succeed or not as a responsible business, which is really interested in making the lives of the community better. Money is good. I'm not going to lie about it. Money is good. Everybody wants some. but money is not everything. You should not just go for money. If money was everything, I would not be a teacher. Neither would any of your teachers would be a teacher. We are here for a different purpose. We see you as a generation that will carry your name. For that reason, don't just pay attention to money all the time. Make a difference. Be fair to everybody. Now, fairness, it's not like selective. Oh, I like that person, so I'll be fair, more fair to that and less fair to that. No, fair is a general term. You should be fair to all. Let's talk about AI. It's the new buzz term. That's all I can say about it. Everybody is talking about it and saying, is this a brand new concept and all that? It is not a new concept. So don't be afraid of AI. I mean, it has ancient roots. You have seen movies, you have seen television shows. Star Trek was made in the 60s, and they talked about artificial intelligence and computers and all that in there. Mr. Spock used to talk to the computer to get answers over there. So artificial intelligence is something which has been in existence for a long time. In fact, the term AI was coined in the Dartmouth Conference in 1950s. And what is the latest thing about AI? That people are paying more attention to it. ChatGPT is one that there are artificial intelligence tools. Your simple calculator can be classified as an artificial intelligence tool if you want to think about it. The cell phone that you have in your hand has more capabilities than the spaceships that went up in the 60s and 70s. You have a much more powerful computer in your hand. Self-driving cars. Autopilot has been in airplanes for decades. So artificial intelligence is here. So don't be afraid about it. Okay? It's nothing is new over there. It's just a tool, and it's an evolving tool. When I was in high school, nobody talked about computers because nobody knew what the heck computer was at that time. I didn't know about it. Now, a child is born, and within a few months, you hand them a cell phone. That's a computer. So as the generations evolve, you will see that the customer itself, the clientele, the stakeholders will start adopting. And that's how AI will be building. It's a tool that builds on data and knowledge. So here are a few things. It learns from data. You will adopt to it. The perception and recognition will grow about it. Of course, what we do about reasoning and problem solving, we have been doing it for a long time. Excel, Word, calculator, these are our problem solving tools. Now, autonomy, AI is not an autonomous thing. It's like garbage in, garbage out information. It's correct. You have to be careful about it. You can get the information from an AI. However, you should always verify it. So, but the AI will only be good as the people that program it. But it will evolve, because we do have a lot of smart folks coming out, and they are evolving. Some of the hackers are the best programmers because they like to go inside it and break it up. If you don't break it, that tool is not good. You try to break it and rebuild it. So what's the perception about AI versus what is reality? Perception is that it is an intelligent thing. Nah, intelligence is good over there, but only as good as the people who program it. There is a perception that it has immense capabilities. It has a large amount of capability only if the information is there, if the data is there. There is a perception that it will impact jobs. Absolutely. I'm not going to lie about that. It will impact jobs, but it can impact in a good way too. it is creating new job opportunities for individuals who specialize in AI or have better data management tools or capabilities of assessing it. The biases will be there because if I program certain things, in fact, I will encourage you to sometimes go and look into Wikipedia even. I have seen some information in Wikipedia which really doesn't add up. In fact, I was reading about Delta Airlines recently, and in that, it said that, oh, Delta Airlines was formed in Macon, Georgia, which was totally wrong. It was actually Delta Airlines was formed in Monroe, Louisiana. Two different places. These two cities are 700 miles apart. So it was whoever put the information in there. There will be some creativity, and this is where you need to use your imagination. Don't be afraid to use your imagination. The more imaginative you are, the more creative you are. If your imagination stays in your brain only, it's a waste of resource. Use it. I'm not going to lie again here that everybody's not going to be a fan of whatever your ideas are. Don't let that discourage you. In academia, we have a saying that if you don't get rejected, you haven't done enough publications. We all get rejected. So you can take the rejection and learn from it and build it. So this was already talked earlier on, so I'm going to skip this over here, that some of the uses for the responsible business, risk screening and biases, and Dr. Ray talked about this thing earlier too. And Dr. Dubey as well as Dr. Patnaik mentioned a few things about this thing too. Let's talk about the uses of AI for responsible and sustainable businesses. Energy efficiency is a critical factor for developing countries. Now, I try to avoid, every now and then it slips, I say underdeveloped countries, and no, every country is a developing country. It doesn't matter who you're talking about. Okay? Every country is a developing country. They are always constantly evolving. So energy efficiency is very important because that's a limited resource after a while, because energy can make things complicated because it generates heat. Yes, it provides more comfort, but artificial intelligence, the data banks, wherever they are, they create immense amount of heat over there. They use immense amount of natural resources that has to be managed. As supply chain optimization, we talked about waste management. I mean, artificial intelligence can help in designing waste management tools and utilizing some of the waste which is going. And waste is not physical waste, everything. Waste can be data waste as well. Of course, agriculture, food systems, carbon footprint monitoring. Even though we're talking about carbon footprint monitoring, yeah, it's kind of like an oxymoron over here, considering that how much heat is generated by AI data centers. Product designs, smart cities. I mean, smart cities, anybody 30 years ago, if they had a cell phone, they'll say, oh, we are a smart city. So the definition of smart city needs to evolve every decade or so. A smart city now, if you don't have Wi-Fi in that city, it's not a smart city at all. And financial sustainability. Now let's take a look at it. AI in healthcare industry. And the reason I'll talk about this a little bit is because I'm in healthcare administration. So this is close to me, what I do over here. AI does help significantly in medical imaging and diagnostics because it can speed up the process and the results can be provided to the healthcare provider. The results can be obtained by the healthcare provider faster, which can result in a faster treatment option for the patient. They can do predictive analysis, like simple thing, COVID. When COVID happened, AI tools played a big role. That's how they had all these models which came out very quickly in predicting how it will be spreading out. And that's how all the planes were shut down and all the flights and all the transportations were shut down. Drug development discovery, 30 years ago, it used to take decades before a drug product came out in the market because it took a long time for data crunching and it took a long time for just developing the market over there. That's faster. You can have personalized medicine using electronic medical records, virtual health assistants like telemedicine. That became very popular during COVID. Robotics in surgery has been there. Now, there is a misconception about robotics in surgery also, that it's assumed by many that a physician is sitting in one part of the world and the surgery is being performed in the other part of the world. We are not there yet. The physician is in the same operating room. They're just not next to the patient, but they have other assistants over there. But in future, absolutely, you will be able to do that thing. Hospital operations, optimization, supply chain management over there. Remote monitoring is, again, telemedicine. Here's the big challenge. The big challenge is that very few countries, by very few, I think you can count it on your hand, which have proper policies and procedures at different levels established. This is constantly evolving because there's a new app that comes out. Somebody doesn't like it. There is always a fear of your data being stolen by them. So you need to have some type of an institutional policy, a local level policy, a regional policy, national and international policies. Now, getting the international policy is going to be probably the most challenging. The only way you can have an international policy is that you have to have a national policy. This is a challenge for the future generation, for all the students who are sitting over there. Here's a challenge. Find new uses for AI. Don't be limited to just what you see. Use your imagination, create it. Okay. You can look at AI for resource management, data management, time management, simple things like that, waste management. Use your imagination. Look at it from the societal perspective and how can that help the society at large. And a society can be as small as your institution or the whole nation or the world. But in Jharkhand area, why don't you take a look over there? That can be your society and your contribution to the community. And of course, look at the developed and developing nations over there. What are they doing and what can you do? Thank you very much for your time. And I will stop my screen share over here. And I'll open it up for any questions if you have any. Thank you again for having me over. I really appreciate it. It's a fantastic conference that you're hosting. And kudos to ICFA University and Professor Dubey for having this fantastic event.
Thank you for such an insightful session from your, and we got to learn a lot of new things from you. And as students are especially excited listening to you, and they have taken a note of all the good things they have learned today. Thank you, sir. Now, we are inviting Dr. Vinod Pandya. So, I'm Nancy Durkee, have his words of wisdom. So, we can here. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. After listening to two speakers guest of honor and the chief guest. Much of what I wanted to say is already said. Like to touch upon those things which have not been touched upon. But with Professor Ray, I got an idea that I happen to have met Mr. N.J. Yashasvi in 1993 in Bombay. And when ICFI was at a nascent stage, and he had also come from the corporate world, I was also in the corporate world. I would have never imagined that one day I will go and set up business school in IIT Roorkee in 1998. So it's been a coincidence that I happened to have met him, interacted with him in 1993 in Bombay, in Hotel President, when he was making a presentation there at that point of time. Now, coming to the topic, I'm very happy that this is an international conference and you have given an opportunity when perspectives. And I would like to comment upon the name of the conference itself. And I would start with the word aligning AI. Now, much of AI which is being talked about is actually, it is more of generative AI. Whereas if you look at what OpenAI started with, if you look at the vision statement who produced ChatGPT, it is not generative AI, it is artificial general intelligence. So that is where it's going to lead. So the way things are going to change, we are just limiting our discussion and options to generative AI. That's number one. Number two, I remember when I was a student in 1960s, there was a shift from log tables to slide rules in engineering colleges. In 1970s, we were completely on slide rules. In 1980s, calculators entered India. In 1990s, desktops or end of 80s, desktops came into India. And from the journey has come when we are talking today about artificial intelligence. Believe me, it does not stop here. We could be and we should be talking about quantum computing and quantum related, quantum medicine, quantum biology, everything quantum. That happens suddenly in next 3 or 5 or 10 years, the shape and names of conferences will certainly change. So I would think the broader aspect of our discussion is aligning technology rather than aligning AI. Another thing I want to bring to your attention, I remember ChatGPT came to India on 30th November 2022. In 2023, I happened to have taught one full course, SME financing, through ChatGPT. I'm talking about 2023. And in this year, 2025, in IIT Roorkee, I taught one full course to MTech students from ChatGPT. So that has been a very wonderful experience. And here, when we are talking about aligning AI with business, I believe we should also be talking about aligning AI with business education. Now, if you go to NEP 2020, it provides you umpteen opportunities where the use of technology has to be brought into education. And higher education, where we have been talking about pedagogy. From pedagogy, we have already gone into more or less andragogy. And from andragogy, we are moving into what could be called as heutagogy, that is self-learning management, which has adaptive learning, which have assistive learning, where things like Khanmigo are already in use across the world in all American schools for last 3 years. So that is the use of AI in education sector. So I would think is one of the tracks you may have discussions on the education also. Another word which is used here is sustainable. And let me tell you, as far as sustainable is concerned, in 1960s, I remember development was the buzzword, keyword. 60s, 70s. 70s, 80s, it was the growth. That was the buzzword. And then 1990s and 2000, millennium were the buzzwords. And 2015, we got sustainable development goals, where the target is up to 2030. So what happens is these are the buzzwords which come and go. And sustainability also as a buzzword, I'm almost certain it's a matter of time, it will also disappear because the way geopolitical things are happening across the world, global world order is going to change. And I don't know what's going to happen to SDGs in times to come. But nevertheless, responsible work with the chief guest, Professor Ashish Chandra, and some of the suggestions which came from Professor Ray were beautiful in terms of what students could do or what could be done. Now, the last two words which I have not touched upon, one is society, another is governance. Please remember, society is the foundation, society is the base, and society is where the humanities has moved as a civilization. So it gives you the foundation, it gives you the base, and governance provides you frameworks. So governance is what will ensure ethical behavior or frameworks which AI has to be aligned with by the businesses in making use of it. So, which is on redefining. Again, I am very happy that the time has come to redefine not only business, but to redefine even business education. That is what I would like to say here. And a responsible word has been spoken. I would think that businesses, when they are adopting to AI, I'm seeing something which is not exactly happening the way one would have expected. Grok 5, for example. Now, Grok 5 is made by using 200,000 GPUs. 200,000 GPUs. Each GPU costing $30,000 to $40,000. And the product is available, Grok 5 is available only on enterprise $200 per month. Now imagine the kind of inequalities it will create with SMEs. Now what role governments can play? What role society can play in terms of aligning, today we are talking about DEI, we are talking about diversity, equity and inclusion. So larger businesses will move forward faster as compared to the smaller businesses. So the society and the governance has to take care of that aspect also, which was not touched upon earlier. Now, I'll not take much time. I think we are already running behind time. So I will wish all the participants all the best for taking from this international conference. Thank you very much.
Now, the planning for the presidential lectures from our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir, Colonel Dr. Ranjit Singh. So, with a great round of applause, and we can invite Sir on the podium. Please, sir.
Mr. Subhash, Mr. Nangia, sir, Professor Ashish Chandra, my learned professors on the dais, in the auditorium, and my budding students, whom I consider the future outstanding lawyers, engineers, managers, scientists, and academicians. Before I proceed any further, I would like to pay my tributes and deepest regards to the founder, Shri Professor Yashasvi Nanduri JG, who is not here. Definitely he is there up in the heavens, and from there he would be watching. The seed that he has sown has grown up into a very benefactor tree, like a banyan tree, which would provide shade
all the passers-by and will stand like a landmark, something like a lighthouse into the sea. Now, before I come to the conference part of it, I would like to mention, especially from the friends from abroad, most of them I see who are NRIs, who have gone from here to other countries, but I see one of the friends from Poland. Where are you, sir? Are you there? Yes. So my most appropriate salutation to you, sir. Now, the place that we are speaking from is Ranchi, is part of Jharkhand, and that is the erstwhile Bihar, the land of Nalanda and Vikramshila. So it's a place of wisdom, not from today, but since ancient times. As far as the tradition of conferences, national or international, is concerned, I may like to relate a story. The first ever known conference of a national nature, at that time international nature, which we find in the Brihad Aranyak Upanishad, chapter 3, subsection 6, where, now this Upanishad is about 700 BC old. That means about 3,000 years old. And it talks about a king called Janak. Yes, the same Janak, father of Sita and father-in-law of Lord Ram. So this man, that time, he ruled an area called Mithila, which is partly now in Bihar and partly in Nepal. So this king was very fond of holding conferences and inviting the Rishi Munis or the scholars of the day to come there and have discussions and debates. Now, these were the places like something a wrestler is practicing in his own, or a boxer is practicing on a punch bag. He thinks he is the man, he is the biggest boxer in there. But unless he gets into an arena, he doesn't know, he won't realize. And therefore, conferences must be held. Test your idea against others, learn and to teach. So there was a rishi called Rishi Yagvalk. So he was invited, and he was the hottest rod at that time. Most of the rishis came, went, and other things. And King Janak had kept a prize of giving 1,000 cows to the winner, with all the horns of the cows, 32,000 horns, that will be gold plated. So, as it was expected, Rishi Yagvalk was the winner. But before the prize could be given, there came somebody from the populace, named the famous women scholar of India, named Gargi. She came and challenged. And her question was, at that time, 3,000 years old, how the universe is born. Now, something we know of today, in today's science, the theory, most accepted theory of how the universe is born is the Big Bang theory. But it's still not clear. It's amazing, perplexing, and you don't know what has happened. So the dialogue, the debate continued between them for 2 days continuously. Ultimately, Yagvalk gave up. And Gargi saluted him and withdrew in retreat, bowing out in retreat. So what we learn from this lecture? You keep discussing till the end, and you come to the end of knowledge where somebody who is there, he cannot answer because right now it is all not in the realm of knowledge. Because you say, if you consider the whole world, there is darkness everywhere. So the ambient condition is darkness. Then you light a lamp, that is knowledge, and it keeps expanding. This knowledge keeps expanding day by day, but it is always surrounded by darkness, which is not known. So once you reach the rim of this light where darkness begins, you must salute to the Almighty and say, this is your domain, sir. Sorry, I don't want to ingress it. So this is what happened, and Yagwal said that. So both the scholars saluted each other, and from that we learned the spirit of teaching and learning. And that's why I want to send a message here, where we have collected together for the conference, that if there is a scholar, if there is a speaker, keep challenging him till the time he's driven to the rim, to the periphery of that light, and thereafter salute him, bowing and bow up in the true spirit of a good learner scholar. With that, we begin this conference. Now, like my earlier speakers have already dwelt upon, it's a very confusing topic. There is an AI tool called Perplex. I tried to use it, and the answer was, are you talking about AI? I said, no. Are you talking about business? I said, no. Are you talking about governance? I said, no. Are you talking about society? He said, no. Are you talking about aligning? I said, no. And he said, sorry, I cannot give you the answer. But from that chatbot, I learned that there are 5 keywords. The 4 keywords that I noted is AI, and I represent it by the 4 vertices of a rectangle. The first vertex is AI, the second one is business, third one is governance, and fourth one is society. And then you have to align it. So using our mathematical skill, there will be 6 combinations. 6 combinations in the sense 4 of arms of the rectangle and 2 diagonals. But if you think it not a reciprocal one, then there will be 12 combinations. And I have gone through the abstract of all the 63 papers that have been received by some of the very great scholars who are doing research on this topic. Some of them have tried, but the task is too Herculean to relate all these 12 relationships and try to align it. By aligning, I mean, you all must have done during your school days, when we want to magnetize a piece of iron bar, then we take a magnet and we rotate it in a clockwise fashion. 1, 2, 3, then the north pole and the south pole comes. And if you do it counterclockwise, it gets de-aligned. Now, if you magnetize, something is magnetized, can it affect that earlier magnet which magnetizes? Yes, it will. So it's a reciprocal relations. So there are 12 things. The moment you are trying to align business with society, there is a reciprocal function that will the society align with business. And hence, the subject is extremely complex. And I am saying so because I am not a manager. I am a scientist and I am an engineer and a researcher. So we must confess that the subject is too complex to be analyzed. However, we have a conference. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with one step. This problem must be analyzed. And in the next 40 to 45 minutes, I'll try to do so. Now, I have divided my address into 2 parts. One is the micro level or the foundation level that I will be talking, and then the macro level, the panorama, the bigger view, the bigger landscape that we must understand. So right now I'll enter into the micro level and I will start recapitulating first about AI, the first vertex of the rectangle, AI. AI is nothing new, as one of the speakers was saying. It started in 1940s, but the first thing that came as publication was in 1950 when Alan Turing, he did the Turing's test.
The Turing test, you all must be aware. Those who are not aware is that there is a judge, human judge sitting. There is some human being there, and there is a machine this side. Nobody sees each other, but they are talking to each other. And if the judge cannot make out whether we cannot distinguish between the machine and the human being with whom it is interacting, then that machine is supposed to be AI enabled. So the test that he gave, it happened in 1950. In 1956, John Macaulay, he gave a definition of AI. And thereafter, there was a lull, which is known as the winter of AI. Nothing happened till 1980, about 20-25 years. Why did it not happen? Because he gave a wrong definition. And because he gave a wrong definition, all scientists and engineers started working in accordance with that definition. The definition was to emulate the human mind. No, the actual definition that came later on, which has come in the late 90s, is that to make a machine which will do what human can do. So it's not important that the machine has got the human brain. As long as the machine can perform what I can perform, the machine is as intelligent as. So that's why we're doing. So they wasted about 20 years, 30 years, 40 years in trying to make a machine which looks like a human being, trying to put the human brain into it. They call it neural networks. The neural networks are not neural networks. It is just a legacy because we have been calling it neural networks. They are nodes with different weightages, very well known to the scientists and engineers, which are used in different configurations in different applications. The neural network, what the AI people call, are not neural. In 1980, the first AI was used for commercial cost making. And in 1997, the IBM's Blue Chip, which was a supercomputer, defeated the famous world champion chess player Kasparov. Then again there was a lull. And the lull was again because we are trying to emulate the human brain. So these supercomputers cannot be called truly AI. What happened in 86? It was just that the speed of the computer was more, and the programmer had done a static programming. The way he programmed had turned into dynamic, and there a game of chess could be played. Pardon? So virtually, the AI has begun in 2010 because somebody got out of the box and came into the correct definition. Let AI be a machine which performs like human beings, but is not human. And through that came the era of machine learning, deep learning, data sciences. So today's AI are based, they are intelligence enabled either through data science or through learning. All of them. So with that, I must say, what are the details of today's AI as existing today? So the latest advancement in AI can be divided into generative AI, embedded AI, search engines, multimode AI, autonomous AI, industrial and commercial AIs. Amongst the generative AIs, which one of the professors was mentioning, some of the packages, one is GPT-4, Gemini, Claude, Llama, Mistral, Stability AI, and About's Firefly. Amongst the embedded AI tools, we have Microsoft's Capitol, Google's Duet, Notion AI,
and Salesforce Einstein GPT. Amongst the search engines, we have Gemini, Bing AI, and Perplexity. So this is the Perplexity AI I was talking to. I was trying to use it about this topic and gain some knowledge to come, which flatly refused and because it was confused itself whether this topic is AI, business, sustainability, growth, society, or something else. Because as I progress through my lecture, you'll find things are very diverse. You can align two things. There is force one going like this, force two, we know the physics, we know there is a resultant physics we call force one cos theta or sin theta. But if they are 180-degree opposite, what will you do? And often the interest stars are 180-degree. You cannot align. Impossible. So the best way is one of them must withdraw. We'll see accordingly further. Then there is a regulations on AI, which another professor was talking about. The two of the regulations that have come into being are the US AI Bill of Rights and the European Union's AI Act. It brings ethics and other things into it. So that is AI. Now, why are we scared of AI? We are scared of AI because it may steal away my data, especially those AI which are based on databases. And if you do not allow it to access your data, like everybody is doing by regulation, then it will not work, it will collapse. Because it feeds on data. It's a parasite that crawls on the data. If the data is denied, the AI is dead. And hence there is a regulation required. So everybody is trying to say, no, you can't access my data. The whole game is based on data, the big data. We are scared of that will steal away my data. We are scared of AI because of privacy. We are scared of AI because it is biased. Biased in the sense that somebody may manipulate it and give you, suppose you put an AI judge, which one of my friends in PhD scholar, when I was interviewing, he was trying to make a judge based on AI, sir. I said, you are getting for a recipe of disaster, let the AI come to waste like that. So it is a biased one. Then why else are we scared of AI? We are scared of AI because it's learning, over-reliance. So the more you exercise, theory of evolution says that anybody who keeps exercising and keeps doing and who is in the race, he survives and the others, they don't survive. So if you are walking, your legs become stronger. If you don't use your arms will become weaker. So over-reliance on AI means AI is becoming stronger and stronger by the day because it is being used. Also, AI is a learning machine. So the more you work, more you read, more learned you become. So AI is becoming more and more learned. You are not using AI. On one hand, AI is becoming stronger, more learned, more intelligent, and on the other hand, the human beings are becoming infidels in front of the AI. So we are scared of that. Now, having said a lot about AI, let me talk about the next vertex, that's business. I said there are 4 vertices of the rectangle, business. Business, we all know, it is a transaction, something based on if I have capital or other resources. If it doesn't mean, it is no business. So business means it is a circulation of resources. And in each circulation, in each iteration, in the first iteration, if the sum total amount is 5,000, in the next circulation, it must generate and it must become 5,050 or something like that. And hence, the capital increase. But understand, this 50 has come from where? According to Einstein's law, matter, energy, they cannot be destroyed. They can be converted from each other. So every time, in each iteration, when the business transactions are taking place, And with 500 rupees of capital, we are holding now 550 rupees. This 50 rupees at the cost of something. Like if you are in the construction business, if you have constructed a multi-story, be sure that a mountain hill somewhere on the earth has disappeared. So this is business. Then is management and governance. There is a subtle difference between management and governance. We all know that POD CC formula: planning, organization, direction, coordination, and control, the basic functions of management. So out of that, planning, organization, and coordination is into management. Rest are direction, control, decisions in a way which are transparent, which fix responsibility, which delegate powers, which fixes accountability, and which is transparent, is called governance. And if it is not done, the governor punishes those chaps who have defaulted. So this is governance. Now comes society, the bigger aspect. We all rest on the society. Society is the cradle where we all breathe. But society changes its. I am tempted to say something that in this audience, what I am missing is there is no sociologist here. And this topic largely pertains to the sociologist. And therefore, I don't have any expert here also in my university. I did some study. To begin with, I have consulted some of the sociologists from Plato to Rousseau to Jefferson. And the famous theory of the society, how a society comes into being, is that of the Plato-Rousseau theory, a great book in French, La Socia Contracta, or the social contract. Social contract tells you that when the human being was uncivilized, there was no society, everybody was on his own. Much like something like now, where we are there. So everybody was selfish, nobody was bothered about anyone, we were virtually living like animals. So what happened is everybody started harming each other. And because everybody started harming each other, one fine day, they collected together and said, well, let's not harm each other, let's be together. And some kind of a tacit agreement was formed amongst the people, and that is called the social contract. And it is that contract which is either implemented either through religion or through a code of conduct or through some IPC or some legal things, is the essence of the society. So this is the society. Now society is dynamic, keeps changing. Now the way we are going, where everybody is becoming more selfish. Selfish in the sense that the families are disintegrating. So you are left to your own. So there is, as far as you are concerned, there is only one person, it's me. Because you see, sooner than I get married, I get divorced. Sooner than I eat children, I've got 5 fathers. And so many issues are happening. So you are becoming an individual. So if you become an individual, you will become selfish. Because you are not working for anyone, you are not earning for anyone. So you are going back to those days. A civilized, uncivilized man. A well-civilized, uncivilized man. The circuit is about to complete. You are going back to this, and again, the social contract has to be re-contracted. So this is how the society is going. Now let's analyze relationships between them. AI to business. Easy one. First of all, you define your objectives in business, whatever you are. Then make the AI goals, like I have listed out different types of things are there. What you want from AI in an ethical way and align it. Business to governance, again, it is very well known. Governance to society, easy one. As far as AI to society is concerned, one of the professors has very well said that ethics is there, but I will repeat once again How do you align AI with the society? First of all, that make that machine, which is intelligent, also moral. We have morality, so we have to make the machine moral. The next is AI is like a black box to us. So we must know what is there in the black box. Anybody making an AI must declare what is there inside its tummy. Transparent. How do you do that? We all have to be AI literate, AI educated. Then what is the AI must do? It must be regulated by governance, rules, regulations, and everything. Can we make AI ethical? Yes, because sooner than later, the AI will also start reading your emotions. So if you can read emotions, our ethics come not from logic, but from our emotions. Because there is no logic, why should I salute? My emotions, I want to respect you. So if the AI is going to become, AI-enabled machine is going to become also an emotional leader, therefore ethics can be put into it. So ethics is largely a function of emotions and to some extent a function of logic that we must do. So these are the ones, this is how we align ourselves. Much has been said, much needs to be said, but those that thing about the micro part that I was saying will be said by, in turn, by the 63 great scholars. Some of them are, most of them are professors, assistant professors, associate professors, or doing research work that will be said in detail, threadbare over the next 2 days. So I will leave it there. I will come to the macro level. Macro level is that we have to deliberate, get into height, and from there see all these 4 elements, 5 elements. Sitting here, you will not be able to see it. Take it, something like this. And what is going to be the effect of AI on us or society or a land? We must learn from the past. This is not the first time that something is happening. It has happened. How has it happened? So let's take a peep into the human civilization. The human beings are said to be civilized when the first human being used a stone either as an equipment or as a weapon. So that is called the Stone Age. And that is about 70,000 years back. The stone is divided into different parts. The last one, or the most recent one, is the Neolithic, which is about 50,000 years old. And then comes, the civilization becomes, so the real civilization comes from the Copper Age, which is anything up to 5,000 years, 5,000 BC. That means 5,000 plus 2,000, 7,000. That's the Copper Age. Then comes the Bronze Age. The Bronze Age keep adding about 1,000 years, so 6,000 years old. Then comes the Iron Age. Now this Iron Age coincides with our Vedic period. That is from 1500 BC to about 5. This is the Iron Age. And from there, you come to the first industrial revolution, which has happened into early 17th century, 1698 to be precise. Before that, there is a run up to the industrial revolution, and that is called the run up period or the latent industrial revolution, when everything was moving. Now, what I want to tell you is that from the time human beings become civilized, that is from the Copper Age, till the time the human being, the first industrial revolution happens, there is almost no change in society. No change. If you plot a graph, the x-axis will take time and progress, it is almost flat. Very low gradient of 4 to 5 degrees of that. So that mankind who was there in 3000 BC, same was the man which was about in the 12th century or 13th century. No change at all. Then comes the industrial revolution. And the change comes. It takes a sharp turn. So I'll get into these revolutions. But before that, let's take one example that is in the run-up to the industrial revolution. In about 1440, the printing press was invented by a man called Gutenberg. So this man, was steam engines and everything were not known. So they had looms because clothes were being made. So he made some kind of a contrivance, some kind of a machine which could print. And most of us would be aware about the first thing that he printed is the Bible, and it is known as Gutenberg's Bible. Now, why I am talking about this thing important is that one night there are lots of plays, in German plays, English plays, I am forgetting the writer, where there is a character called Bob. He gathers the mob and they attack Gutenberg at night and try to take his machine. Why? He says that he is going to take away my job. And they were supported by the church because earlier only the saints, the bishops and whosoever is there could write any verses of the Bible, whereas he had printed the Bible. So he had done some kind of a blasphemy, so everybody was against him. So logic, what Gutenberg gave, if I make this machine, there will be more economic activity, and more the economic activity, more numbers of jobs will be generated. Dear students, are you there? Yeah, I'm going to pose you a question now. So it is true that with every invention or with every advancement in technology, there is a hush-hush in business or economic activity. And so that will give you lots of jobs. So there is job. But every time a new thing is created, it gives lots of jobs, but at the same time, it will take away some jobs. True? So let it give the job that it gives is X, and let the number of jobs that it takes away is Y. So the total jobs created is X minus Y. And integrate it over a period from say 1500 AD to 2200, about 700 periods, and there will be different functions. Now, what do you think is the sum total result? Is the technology taking away more jobs, or is it giving more number of jobs? Just mull over. I don't know the answer because I tried, but the equation became so, I could not handle the equation. Maybe with the AI, I will be able to handle this equation because there are so many factors and variables. But from my wisdom or experience, I can see that it is now technology has come to a stage where it is taking away more number of jobs and giving less number of jobs. Why? I'm a farmer's son, sir. So I was in the village, born in 1960. So that time, there was nobody unemployed in my village. No one was unemployed. So the period that I'm talking up to industrial revolution, till Gutenberg's thing, there was no human being who was unemployed. Something like there is no dog which you can call is unemployed. There is no crow which is unemployed. There is no lion which is unemployed. There is no insect which is unemployed. In the villages, my father toiled, tilled the land. My mother was busy making something. So there was no one. We children, we were helping either the father, mother, or studying. So there was nobody who was unemployed. But now I think barely few people are employed, and most of the village is unemployed. So now back to AI. That's why I said that I will be talking at the macro level. What it's doing? Is it going to finish the job or going to give you jobs? Right now we have come to a stage where more number of unemployed people are running around. Now what is this unemployment? See a dog, I give an example. So the total job of a dog or any animal, the job is to search for food. Throughout the day, it's running around. The moment it's had food, takes it, rests, again when it's hungry, it's running. So that's a job. And if that was the job of the human beings, only to earn its bread, रोटी कपड़ा और मकान चाहिए, वो ठीक था. But the problem with the humankind is man shall not live by bread alone. It is his aspiration. Today nobody is hungry. How many people are starving? They are all unemployed. Because your needs have become larger, larger, larger. And therefore, in that equation that I was talking about, if your needs are infinite, where the demand is much higher, need is a demand, and whatever you are doing through technology is supply, then it's definite answer that we all will be unemployed. And this, I'm talking scientifically, having done lots of experiments, having solved lots of mathematical equations, and having given examples. If somebody has to say something about it, say it. But if somebody wants to work on this for a PhD thesis, no. So theoretically, there will never be a situation now where any government can give you 100% employment. Impossible. So this is the point I want to make. How are you going to align the society then? Please mull over. Now let's come. I have finished with the story of the Gutenberg. Let's come to the industrial revolutions. It's not only a question of bread, also a question of other things. The industrial revolution brought lots of things, prosperity, this, that. But it has taken away so many things. I did one of the poems of, I don't know if it is Urdu, but only 2 lines because I could not decode it into Hindi. अगर ये जमीन नहीं है जल रही तो ये आसमां धुआं धुआं क्यों है? अगर ये जमीन नहीं है जल रही तो ये आसमां धुआं धुआं क्यों है? इतनी बड़ी भीड़ में इंसान अकेला परेशान क्यों है? Now this has been written during the first industrial revolution by one of the Urdu poets here, 1698, this steam engine was invented. And that's why you take it the starting of the first industrial revolution. So what has happened is that in Europe, especially in England, the villages were left with only the old, the infidel, children, the disabled, and others. Everybody fled away from. When you come to the cities, there is smoke everywhere because of the chimneys billowing black smoke and soot. I will urge the audience, especially my students, to read some literature of that time, which gives a peep into the sociology. And some of the things is that you must read Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities or David Copperfield. You must read Oliver Goldsmith's poems, like a series of poems, The Village School Teacher, The Village Blacksmith by H.W. Longfellow and others, which tells you how the village was by and by, till karke gaon jal rahe hain and gaon disappear ho gaye. I will come to this point again. There are no villages left in Europe or the United States. I will come to this point again. So let's see, there is a very great character. What I said in Urdu one, अगर ये जमीन नहीं है जल रही तो ये आसमां धुआं धुआं क्यों है? Something like that. There is a poet called William Blake, very famous. William Blake. He writes, my mother died of tuberculosis because of your smoke. My mother died because of tuberculosis of your smoke, and I was very, very young. And then my father sold me when as yet my cry was limited to weep, 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 and weep. And so now, today, I sweep your chimneys, and in your suit I sleep. This is the condition, the sociological change that the first industrial revolution brought to us. Let's talk about the second industrial revolution. Is supposed to be from 1800 to 1900, and this is basically about the electrical engineering. First one is mechanical engineering, 1700 to 1800. 1800 to 1900 is electrical and electronics engineering. 1900 to 20,000 was electronics and computers till 2010, and now it is AI. That is the fourth industrial revolution. And the fifth industrial revolution is supposed to be human being totally substituted by robots, intelligent robots. And they predict that the fifth industrial revolution will come sooner than later, maybe by 2050. So what happened? During the third industrial revolution, from say 1900 to 2000, we had the Second World War. And on 6th and 9th August, the two cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, they were bombed, they were with an atom bomb. So everything was destroyed. If not the population, the human beings were destroyed, it was humanity itself destroyed. I will read a poem very close to my heart by Ramdhari Singh Dinkar. आवर्तों का है विषम जाल, आवर्तों लेयर्स, आवर्तों का है विषम जाल, निरुपाय बुद्धि चकराती है, विज्ञान यान पर चढ़ी हुई सभ्यता डूबने जाती है. सिसकियों और चित्कारों को जितना भी हो आकाश भरा, क्यों और चित्कारों से जितना भी हो आकाश भरा, कंकालों के ढेर हो या खप्परों से हो पटी धरा, आशा के भार को लेकिन पवन को लेना ही होगा, आशा के भार को लेकिन पवन को लेना ही होगा, जीवित सपनों के लिए मार्ग, जीवित सपनों के लिए मार्ग मुर्दों को भी देना होगा. इस नई उषा को लाने को, इस नई उषा को लाने को नभ पर जावक बिखराता चल, लोहे के पेड़ खड़े होंगे तो गीत प्रेम का गाता चल. Means लोहे के पेड़ is about the machines and everything. So can an iron become green? It means that put humanity into that machine. And the poet, there was a great debate during that time. Should we stop scientific advance, the way we try to cap the nuclear programs and then roll back? So the debate, should we stop the scientific advancement? He says no, make them human and proceed. So this is the message given by that. Now I come to a stage I was just coming from my home to this university, and I related to a story to Professor Sumit Sinha. Is he here? Okay. So I related to him that how my heart bleeds when I see people on the streets and we claiming that we have gone so far. Yeah, with that I will finish it. So the India that I see is not one India. There are hundreds of India that I see within India. I daily travel from here to my residence in PP compound, barely 15 kilometers, and at every kilometer I see a different India. Somebody is not having food, somebody is sleeping, somebody is this, and then here it is, I am putting on lounge suit doing my lectures. The hundreds of India in India. So what I want to say is that I give you three options. 10 of us are running, and there are marks for that. So there is one group in which somebody comes first, and there is somebody comes last, and there are other people. So totally dispersed group. There is another group which they are all collected together and come. They are not first, but the second, third position, but all 10 together are together or close together. Somebody third, then other one is fifth or something like that. The third one is this, again they are together, but they are the last. One is 10th, one 9th, 8th, 10th together. And this is what has happened when the UN report came and India jumped to glory that the disparity among the people has khatam ho gaya. So you have to be, the best is you have to be first and all together. So our problem is, and if there is an option, can I first nahi aana hai, so let's be together. We are not together. So will this AI stretch this line or contract this line is the question. And I am sure the next part is a panel discussion where very, very learned people are there. We'll be discussing on all these issues, and I am sure somebody will write up this issue. So I just wanted to say a very, very, very old poem once again about humanity, and what I will end my lecture or address with that note, that be human first. Something like Rabindranath Tagore, the famous debate of Rabindranath Tagore with Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose that happened, sir, where Netaji Subhash Chandra was a big nationalist that you know. For him, India was very important, most important. So Tagore very politely declined. He says, see, Subhash, for me, let India go to dogs as long as Indians are safe. For me, Indians are more important than India, because it is the Indians who make India. During our lifetime, you can see the map of the world drawn, redrawn. During my life, about 60 years old, I have seen the map of Europe drawn 15 times. And therefore, so it is Indians that are more important. And there, scientists and engineers, you must be human at mind. And when I saw a tram, but I was talking to you, I was reminded of a poem of Emily Dickinson. And what I forgot, like Sumit was saying, there is an old man, sir, which is lying on Ratu Road somewhere. I'm not very familiar to Ranchi. So on an abandoned car's dicky, he's staying there. I think he's become a leper or something. He's dying slowly and slowly. And it is just circulating on the social media, inviting the NGO to come there and take care of. This is the kind of man and who is about soon to die. A similar thing, experience, has been expressed in very poetic words by Emily Dickinson, and it's a very famous poem, Shut In and Shut Out. A homeless man is sad to see, a homeless man is sad to see, but sadder far, a man so hard that from beauty, love, and kindness shut out, and that his soul is barred from all these things. Shut in from sin and soul, he is imprisoned in a dungeon deep, and there, shut off from God and all, he will die in sleep. So, my dear friends, lawyers, engineers, managers, scientists, and sociologists, and all the learned people and the budding ones, be human, cultivate humanity. In all your researches, make this as the key point. That should be the soul of your research, and that should be where AI should be heading. And when you are aligning, as long as अगर यह मंत्र है ह्यूमैनिटी का, तो सिर्फ एक रस में इन चारों को, which seems to be impossible to be aligned together, एक मंत्र है, एक लिक्विड है, इनमें इसको डिसॉल्व करो, and they all will get aligned, and that is humanity, humanity, and humanity. With that, I end my address. Thank you very much, sir, and thank you very much.
Brilliantly blended by you, sir. We really appreciate every time you speak, you open up forums of discussion. And there are a lot of ideas which comes to mind as a writer, as a speaker, as a motivator, which we use in our classrooms. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Now, we have among us our VC ma'am and Register is here now. So the actual energy which reflects in us is somehow guided by VC ma'am, Madam Himlata Singh. So I request Registrar sir to honor her, and I will request audience to give a great round of applause. Now. Now I will request Honorable Vice Chancellor sir to honor Dr. Subhashi Sri. Dr. Subhashi Sri.
That will be a.
Meanwhile, I will go to the council to come on the stage. So please. And Social University Chartered.
Next question is mine.
The doctors please take the and the first you Dr. Sandeep Nathari is
It's a great honor for me.
Please, sir. Dr. Alan hosts the position of professor with this Next, may I please put on stage Dr. Ibrahim Bhubaneswar. It's an honor to have you here. Dr. Kurs Bhatia, XIMD Bhubaneswar. He's as heads for local. They are for the University Jharkhand. Dr. Razdeep Rao. South Patna. Thank you, sir. Thank you for making your presence. Thank you, Professor. Now, before we head down the tea break, I will request Assistant Dean, IMS, Mr. Rajkumar, to come in and give a vote of thanks. Dr. Kumar, sir, please.
Thank you very much, sir. So as we draw the curtains on this inspiring inaugural session, it is my privilege and joy to extend the heartfelt vote of thanks on behalf of ICFI Management School, both faculty and the students. I'm a representative of the entire team. I wish to propose the vote of thanks for the same. Right? First, I'll start with my heartfelt thanks to our NJ Yashashvi sir, who was the pioneer and the reason behind why we are here. So I thank him and try to get his blessing from him as well. And the ICFI Society, our President, Dr. Shankara sir, and then our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. T.R.K. Rao sir, who always motivate us to proceed with so much of functions and activities for the students, for the scholars, and for the society. Thank them personally. And addressing to the chief guest, Dr. Asis Chandra sir, thank you very much. You crossed oceans and time zones over and almost a lot of time differences there. It's almost 1+, and you just joined us, highlighted the points, and showed us like knowledge doesn't have any boundaries. Thank you for bringing your perspectives, your research, and your spirit. And he also clarified the roots on AI, how it started, and highlighted more on AI on healthcare. So thank you very much, sir. And I would like to thank our distinguished guest address by Dr. Vinay Nangaya, ex-professor and Dean IIT Roorkee, who just connected us with NJ Yashashvi sir. He touched upon our founder and again stated us how important it is and how much we are aligned with the content. And he just mentioned on technology in place of AI, how to align technology, why you should replace AI in our conference title, and how you can call it as technology. Aligning AI with business education. Definitely, it's a thought-through topic. So, thank you so much for throwing lights on those things, sir. Our guest of honor, Dr. Subhashish Ray, bringing the memories on our founder again. So, you started with the memories of the founder, highlighted the sustainability, highlighted more on Jharkhand on the indigenous community and globalizing tribal products. So, thank you very much for your presence, sir. Then our Vice Chancellor, sir, made an address, which as usual, it was setting the platform. So whenever we have a discussion with our VC, sir, he sets the platform and create a mood in a different way where thought-provoking contents will be discussed. So he highlighted on the first ever conference about 700 BC and ago, how universities were born. And not only that, he bisected the entire concept or the conference to two as micro and macro. It started dissecting it, and after that deconstructing the theme more scientifically. That's the most advantage and the admiring thing what we as a faculty used to get from it. And also the pros and cons of AI, how AI is and what is the pros and what is the cons. So definitely that VC sir has set a leading question for the next enriched session on the panel discussion, where so many questions are there among us, which will be hearing from the rich panel, which will be happening after this particular inaugural program. And special thanks to JB Patnaik sir, our registrar, started with a welcome address, but I'm highlighting because he is standing behind us right from the start of the program, motivated us to go for a conference in the initial days. And then he said like, yes, I'm there and back up you. So he threw more lights on AI and covered most of the contents of this entire conference. And also the complete administrative support, with so much of discussion, whatever is essential for making this program happen today. So complete support from him. Thank you very much, sir. And special mention to Dr. Rakesh Kumar Dubey, sir, who is the conference director and chief convener of IUJ. And for this particular program, on bringing out this theme, then making the concept into an event today. Thank you very much, sir. And the performers and presenters, those who are eagerly waiting to listen the panel discussion, who is going to make your presentation in the upcoming sessions in the next one day and tomorrow's program as well. So like we'll be having an enlightening session and quality contents will be there. So first of all, a great thanks to you and the organizing team and volunteers, without which this event would have not been happened. So you are silent engine behind this grand symphony, from logistic to hospitality, from tech to decor, you turn plans into reality with grace. Thank you for your tireless efforts. And And also a special mention to Mr. Amar Gupta, Assistant Professor of IT Department, who gave the IT support and the press and media coverage for the entire program. So with this, I thank you all, and I'm promising you that there are enlightening sessions which is going to happen after this particular inaugural, where like quality contents, extremely quality contents were there in the inaugural. So in fact, while taking the notes, papers are not sufficient. So I try to confine myself with few points, and the same is going to happen in the next program. There are participants and expert members and panels across country. So we have resource persons from Poland, France, and many dignitaries are present over here, and we are awaiting to hear from you, sir. Thank you very much.
Time is spoken, but ideas and problems. We will try to keep ready. It's a gentle device before we start our discussion. So we meet with the first speakers and exchange broad conversations after the tea break. Only panelists will join. The next 2 years will be starting now another discussions. Now I was ready only to stand their place, the national management.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you.
request our esteemed panel members to come on the stage. Subhashish Ray has already arrived. So, there's a Prince sir, please come sir. And Ritesh Dubey sir. In center or it will be part of the Pradeep sir.
So independent.
They will be. Okay. And online we have. Let's see, are they online? Dr. Klapta and. Okay. Already here. Yeah. So we welcome Dr. Suha Kiki ma'am also, all the way from France. Right, so I think in that case. So for the last almost 2 hours, we are discussing about artificial intelligence, governance, society. So cutting it short, the theme of this session, the panel discussion is based on artificial intelligence, society, and governance, opportunities and challenges for the business. So right from the morning, we are discussing that how AI has disrupted and the way business is being done, how transformative it is. So, but we are also wondering about the serious question, that is how the intersection of AI, society, governance, and then we have to take care of the business action. So coming from this perspective of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, my first question would be to John Klapta, who has been watching us, listening us repeatedly online. So I just want to ask from you, sir, that how this AI is redefining business from a global perspective. How do you think that this artificial intelligence is redefining the way businesses are done? Yeah, you need to unmute yourself. Rewards, Klapta? Yeah, he's unable to answer it. Please unmute him.
Hello, hi, good morning, everyone. I cannot hear you well. I think there is something with microphone maybe, or because I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear that you are asking me about the answer. So could you please repeat the question?
Yes, sir. I was asking that how AI is redefining the business. If you talk about global perspective, what would you say about that?
Okay, now I heard it. Thank you very much. So once again, welcome everyone. I'm very glad to be here and very proud that I was invited. I represent the University of Technology, Salesian University of Technology in Poland. I'm head of International Relations Office, and honestly, I do not research about AI. I'm a kind of beginner in using it. But I would say that yes, of course, it is one of the most important inventions 21st century up till now, and it is redefining, I would say, everything. So of course, it has influence on business, on education, on society, and everything. And what I could say is that it creates many opportunities. It is a great tool, a very powerful tool, but we also see very many challenges about it. Something very important is that it is a kind of black box. So we have input, we have output, we know what we put in, we must verify what we get out of it, but we do not know really, even creators doesn't know how it really works inside. And it is changing. It is recreating itself. It is reshaping itself according to our questions, evaluation of the answers. So it seems to be a kind of living thing. It's not real intelligence as we understand the intelligence, but it is, I would say, pretending, or it is becoming some new kind of intelligence, artificial intelligence. And although it is the virtual something, it is really able to influence our life, our hardware, our society, and everything. So I would say I'm very much excited about AI, but I'm also a little bit afraid if we really can manage it, if we can control it, if it will not be used in the wrong way. You see, this is something that happened and immediately started to be used by billions of people. The people do not know what is it. They do not know how it works. So they believe in some truths and lies about it, and by using it, they can do whatever they want. And I would say that, of course, yes, it is a very useful tool. We have to use it. We cannot stop it, but we should educate people about the rules. We should create the rules of using it, and then educate people to let them know to learn them that it is not the only truth that we get from it. So
all right.
this is my personal. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now, Ma'am Akiki from France has joined. So I would like to ask her that, like our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, was also asking this, posing a question that whether, what do you think, is AI job creator, destroyer, or AI is a transformer? So what's your take on this, ma'am?
Hello, good morning, everybody, and I'd like to extend my thanks to the faculty and to the administration of the university. Anyway, so AI, coming back to the previous question, AI, we shouldn't, it's not God. We shouldn't take it as God, that it is changing our life. It's optimizing our energy in business and supply chain. It personalizes product. Even when you use any website or research website, they have cookies, they have all this. It's AI anyway. We started with AI a long time ago, but now it is coming really into practice and very fiercely, very violently, and everybody's talking about it now. And of course, we will have some jobs disappearing, but we will have new jobs creating as well. But is it in the same proportion? That's the question. Are we going to regain the same numbers we are losing? That's also another issue in AI. And also AI, it expands also access to education, of course, but we are going to have double speed, double standards. People who can afford having this highly technological tools in AI, they are, as we are seeing nowadays, even in the West, we have really upper class and lower middle class. The middle class is getting poorer, not like after the World War II. So here we have to be careful as well. If we want to secure the same tools to everybody, we have to work about that as well. We can also extend the financial inclusion with all these data scoring. And AI also delivers affordable healthcare. We have to talk also about the healthcare. Now we can, I think previous speakers talk about how the doctors how they can do some surgery online at a distance. Also, it's very important, but who can afford it? That is the question. We have to be careful to have equality, and that's another problem. I am afraid of that it will be a double standard, double speed. The ones who can afford it can work it perfectly, and the ones who cannot afford it, they will be in trouble. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So carrying the point which ma'am raised further, that do you think that this AI is creating a digital divide between the society or the business? Sir would like to say something.
Yeah, good afternoon. The good thing about digital and internet devices, technology or AI is there is no divide, right? Now we're saying about upper class middle. So many systems in the society have been built in such a way that there is a clear divide between these. But if you use technology, it does not differentiate between upper and lower. So you, for example, if you use UPI, UPI may not differentiate who is using UPI and who is getting benefit out of UPI. Normally the class, the lines between the class have been diminished, but also the divisions of the gender, men, women. You'll be surprised to know one of the greatest things that happened in the last 10 years is the inclusion, financial inclusion through the use of technology, Jan Dhan Yojana. All of us are aware of it. And we are one of the remarkable achievement which we have seen in the last 10 years. There's a world record of having opened the bank account in just 1 week, which is roughly 2 crores. And right now, there are 56 crores of individuals who have opened bank account. The cost to open bank account has been reduced drastically when the technology is used. Aadhaar stack, what we call as Aadhaar stack. And what most forecasted is that there will be an immense burden on the bank in India. And this roughly 14,000 crore deposit in all the Jan Dhan Yojana account. Right now, we have the deposit of roughly 2 lakh crore in Jan Dhan Yojana account, and the government and the business, they are transferring the direct benefit transfer worth more than 15 lakh crore to various schemes, both the state and the central government. That is one of the highest in the world. None of the countries on the other side achieved at that scale. And the use of technology has leapfrogged areas per capita income because total 27 years. So we are now 27 years advanced by using the technology like this one. It's just one simple example. UPI, which is again based on the Aadhaar stack, right? And now what we may be seeing in a few months from now is already being used. You all know that when we go to apply for a loan, we have this score, civil score and all. That is not there now, right? Why? Because most of the loans in India are in the range of say 5,000 to say 15,000 rupees, right? And these loans are mostly demanded by those first-time borrowers. For example, many of the students are studying here. So somebody who don't have a credit history, or maybe a vendor in the market who don't have a credit history, so they don't have the civil score. So in 2020, during the COVID time period, the scheme is not, I think, not much talked about. Is the connecting all the vendors who maybe selling the clothes, vegetables, giving them the ID card and giving them the working capital of up to 10,000 rupees. Now see what is happening is the government has incentivized those vendors through the use of technology, that the transfers would be in your bank account and you will be using entire this money to pay the individuals would be in digital room. And there was an incentive which was based on the digital payments, was up to 100 rupees. The interest subvention was up to 7%. And based on your record, if the payment is refunded, right, repaid to the bank within 1 year, right, if we again top up of 20,000 more in the second year. Now, this has, I can imagine there was no collateral for this loan. It's purely based on the bank account open to general card, your identity which was created by the government for the resident, and the digital payments which you are using, the transactions. Apart from what you have a CIBIL score, there is a study which indicates that the saving accounts transactions are 6 times more robust than the CIBIL score. So each transaction which we do through UPI creates a digital footprint. And this data, which is now called as a public infrastructure, is used by the concept known as Aadhaar account aggregator. The architect of Aadhaar, London Military Jail, is also the architect of the account aggregator. So look at the change which is happening. Right. None of the economy and major economy in the world has experienced this stack which is based on Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, right? Your transaction, everything is there. Right, for those who are not devoid of the documents which are very difficult to obtain in many cases through the
Right, sir. You have rightly pointed out what are the benefits and how digital thing have made our life easy. Now, we have discussed about business. Now I will come to the human aspect of society. Like how is this AI and when we talk about deep fakes. So I would like to listen from Dr. Subhasis Ray, that how this is affecting the society. Like when we see issues about privacy and deep fakes. So what's your take on this?
Overall, my take is like seeing recipes in YouTube. So with YouTube recipes, you feel you have more access to better dishes. But ultimately, when you are making it, the taste may not be as good. So AI is almost like those YouTube recipes. I'll give you a small story about the societal angle, and particularly for the guests from abroad. So we have something called a electric three-wheeler. In West Bengal, we call them as a Toto. So like we have auto rickshaws, so they are driven by batteries. And it is a 99% male-dominated industry. Okay, so like all auto drivers, you see possibly in Jharkhand is 100% driven by male. So idea was made, can we put women as these Toto drivers or auto drivers? Can we empower them instead of they doing menial work like our cooks or cleaners? Can we give them a more respectable livelihood or responsible business? Can you guess from where the resistance came? The resistance actually did not come from the government. The resistance did not come from their families. The resistance came from other male drivers. They said, you have many things to do. You cannot keep your auto rickshaw in our stand. They literally drove away these women saying, no auto drivers will be allowed to do this business. So the point I'm trying to make is the patterns of inequality are beyond AI. And it is, for example, in our society, it is so patriarchal. You can have the best of AI, but the benefit will not reach whom it should reach. Going back to Sir's point, Jan Dhan account, if you look at some of the statistics, crores of people opened it. Majority of them are lying idle. If you actually are standing in a bank and see a person from a slum coming to open or operate their account. I don't know if any of you have seen. They actually ask the bank clerk to fill up the form. They are completely at the mercy of the bank clerk. They spend half an hour just getting things done which you and I can do in an app. So my point is AI will not actually address that gap. It will deepen my inequality. It will make it worse because unlike other changes, AI we are talking about a thinking machine, unlike a calculator or a computer. And when you talk about business, generally we are talking about Google and Microsoft. Think of a pawn shop owner or a tea shop owner. Majority of the kirana store owners, grocery store owners in India are driven out of business by Blinkit, who is using AI at such a scale, they are not only going to need half a dozen eggs and one packet of milk. They are going to give you a 10 rupee discount. What will happen to the shop who has a Jan Dhan account, who has an Aadhaar card, but who simply cannot survive?
Right, sir. This data has also come up that in Delhi, almost 3 lakhs small shops were closed because of this quick commerce. So again, coming to the human and the society end, I would like to ask you, sir, that since we say that this AI is mimicking the human intelligence, so as being human, what we need to do so that we create a clear differentiation between what is artificial intelligence and what as a human being we are, or your point of view.
Thank you. So yes, when we are entering into the intelligence era and all that, right? So being human is being one of the most important thing, because all the people are saying that tomorrow we may have to work with the robot. On the next, maybe the machine is sitting and working with that, and we are doing that. When we are talking about all these things, we say that my take is that AI is a beneficial till what we do. It can be harmful if we use it in a harmful way. Like I take the examples of students, right? Dear students, you use AI for your assignments, for your study and all that, right? But same thing, if you do it during the exams for cheating purposes and all those things, the use of AI will be in the wrong side, because you are not learning. Today, what happens to the students? When AI was not there, when used to ask them to write a mail, they hardly line one line, two line. Today we get 3 paragraphs of mail, right? So what is happening? So you are copy pasting, or somebody as a faculty, everybody is doing as an AI, using the AI part and all that, right? So, but if this is used for the purpose of upgrading ourselves, because before answering such questions, I tell you that tomorrow there will be 3 type of people, right? One people will be there, they will be above algorithm, above the AI, like Elon Musk and all those people, the brains, right, who works above this level and all that. They will dictate the machines and AI also, right? And people like us will be there, whatever the new thing will come, we will struggle and learn and try to, like suppose Excel has come with the AI or PPT has come with the AI, we are learning it and we are using and we are earning our livelihood and all that. But majority of the people will be there who will be before the algorithm. They will be dictated by the machine. Like if you take the example of Blinkit delivery or Ola delivery. So nobody is asking them to take your car from this place to that place. In fact, the machine is telling that, okay, now you go there and pick that customers and drop them in. Right? So that people will be in a majority who are the below algorithm, and they have to listen, and they will be the slave of those machines and all that. Right? They have to work according to the machine requirements and all that. So understanding all these things as a human being, as an emotional being and all that, humanity is the most important thing, whatever you do in your life and all that. That's why when we talk about ESG in the corporate today, talking about the environment, talking about the societal part, talking about the governance part, anything if you want to see tomorrow, right, there must be a human in nature. Otherwise, it is going to be a disaster for the whole humanity and all that. And that's why we need to take care of these things. And being an AI is definitely what we see is a very low percentage of the power. But people are saying that AI has a very powerful in all this. And AI has a lot of other things which even the human being are not going to manage it, because it becomes a black box when it becomes a complex decisions, nobody knows how the decisions are making. In fact, 2 days back only one of the vendor was showing us for the admission purpose and all that, that this is the AI fact, how any questions can be answered by the applicants and all that. So suddenly we put something and we got us some wrong answers also. So then we have started asking, what about this and all that? And then he came down that, okay, sir, 90%, 80% is giving right answer, then also you can buy it. So if you are totally depending on AI, definitely a lot of wrong things will also happen. And it all depends upon us that how we are using the AI for our beneficial purpose. And a lot of benefits are there. If you take about the education, if you talk about the healthcare, if you take about the monitoring of the environment, if you talk about the consumptions of a lot of resources, all this management of resources so that we can reduce the carbon footprint and all that. So, lot of benefits are there from AI, but you need to think that how we are using it, and accordingly we have to serve the society and for the whole country and the nation.
Thank you, thank you. Continuing with this point of which we all belong to this education center. So we are seeing this change in the education field, so especially how we have to realize. So students are part of the society. So how we are going to protect them, or what should be our strategy in this world of AI for the students as an education institution? So if you could sir.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Basically, AI is an opportunity to not a threat for us. Because we have created AI. AI has not created us. And where we see that AI is harming ourselves or our existence, we can finish it whenever we want. You might have seen the picture robot. Sure. So, everything which comes new in the world that has some resistance. When computer came after 1980, a lot of resistance were there, a lot of dharna opposition, everything was happening at that time. But what happened later on? It has become a part of our life. And we have increased our GDP many fold to the computer. Our GDP is 7.8% in last quarter. And we are the fourth largest economy in the world. It has more contribution of computers because we have recruited 40,000 workers of software abroad. So this AI and computers, they are giving us an opportunity to work around the world and around the world. Right now, through AI, I can do the work which is available in Poland. Through AI, I can do the work which is available in US. And this is the example that we are networked with US and Poland people, how it has become the computer in the base of AI. So AI is an opportunity, and particularly in the case of the country like India, where half the population is almost 35 years of age. So we have, it's a big revenue, it's a big opportunity for all the people that we have to become testers of our AI capability. And it's rightly said that AI is not going to take your job, rather the people who know the AI, rather the people who know AI, they will take you. So you have to keep yourself competent enough to be smart in using AI. And there are a lot of revenues. So it's up to you to decide how they're using the AI. Because in our college, in the what happened there, we give a project to the student to take the project. What we do is that they just copy it from ChatGPT and so on, and just give it up. We have got a software that is called 30, check the parameters. But now the students are coming, and they have a software which will check the parameters, and they will destroy the parameters, and they have come up with a project which is not having the parameters. Because software has come. It should not get the 13 or other software to check it. Okay. So this is kind of having some kind of negative effect. And what I think that the human thinking capacity is becoming lesser because of the AI. Earlier people used to think a lot. We used to write the letters and we used to, imagine a lot of things and write many things. So human thinking capacity is decreasing, that we have to check. Okay. So in my case, AI is more like an opportunity than a threat.
Thank you so much, sir. Right, so we have discussed about business, we have discussed about business, we have discussed about the role of society. Now we are going to the third and final aspect, that is governance. So I would like to ask you, sir, that how do you think that can it be regulated, or how the government should work for regulation, or this can be regulated in a better way for society?
Anything that happens in society, right? There will be regulation, that is for sure. Nothing is coming out without any regulation or so. So, and it's like a cat and mouse chase, right? But then every time something new comes, or if a regulator tries to pick up those loopholes, by the time the loopholes are created by the data source. So regulation is definitely going to be there. We were talking about like the black box of AI. So there are regulations which are not talking about the explainable AI. And when you need to have an AI which basically tells us what it does and how it basically does, so that the regulators can basically have a look at it. Transparency can be there, how it can be done. So nothing basically goes away from regulation. That is for sure. It will be regulated. Those people who are designing it, they are designing it from the perspective that it doesn't bring any of the legal compliances that happen within a company. So if you today ask certain questions to any of the generative AI, right, and if it breaches the law of the land, it won't answer that. So regulations are definitely need to be more.
Thank you. Coming to this point that we talk about sustainability and inclusiveness, two of our biggest telecom operators, they have created almost a kind of equality. So both of them have withdrawn the minimum basic plan of 1 GB, 245 rupees per month. That was their minimum plan. Now they are asking us to go for that 90 or 84 days. So when we talk about ethical business, here we are saying deep how these companies, what is your take on this, that how the companies are on the one hand, they are following that bottom of the pyramid concept, but they have removed this, they have withdrawn this basic minimum plan of 245 rupees. So, sir, Navdeep sir, what you would like to say?
Okay, when we are discussing these things, that means we are actually talking about the values that are embedded with the business practices, that what they are doing in the society. Now we'll start from this title of conference only. So it is where we are going to redefine a responsible and sustainable business. And here we have replaced E for AI, that is environment. And then we have ESG. It has become ISG. Okay. So now AI is a new environment for our business. Okay, AI driven. So now when we are saying that they have withdrawn some kind of facilities from their customers and they have ready-made data available. So what we are actually using, they are analyzing those data and calculating their profit and loss based on that, and they are deciding like what plans should be there and what not be there. As I from the finance area, especially behavioral finance, so I talk about the values. Okay, so when we see the emergence of these kind of business practices where we had industrialization, we were developing, then we were talking about that business should be sustainable. So based on that sustainable, then we are talking about ethics like environmental issues and ethics come in place and governance take on. Now, as far as values are concerned, so if we think about ourselves, like our AC sir was saying that we were selfish in the initial stage, that means we were egoistic. Now it was changed that we had different values like birthright values and other values where we were thinking about others also. If we are using AI in place of E, that means we are thinking about a new environment based on AI. So Now this AI is embedded. So now whose values are embedded in this AI? This is the major question here. Because if we count the benefits of AI, so there are so many new products are launching each and every day. Okay, we have so many new products, process are fast, decision making are fast, but still if we see another aspect of that, so we have things like we are using the natural resources in a large scale. We are using fresh water that is required for our consumption. We are using electricity, AI-based system we are talking about. So these are the things, but coming to your question, why these practices are withdrawn or plans are withdrawn simply based on AI. Sir was saying that students are using ChatGPT is not bad. Using ChatGPT is add-on scenario. If you are getting right prompt, then you will get an idea about that. And if you are writing something on that idea, then currently you will not catch it. Simply, you will not catch it. Okay, so AI is for helping. So AI means again helping those companies like telecom companies that what plan should be there in the market. Accordingly, they are taking action on that.
All right, thank you, sir. I think Kiki ma'am wants to say something because he has raised her hand. So, yes, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes. Yes, we have also to take into account. Sorry, I couldn't hear very well the speakers. The sound is really very bad quality, I'm telling you. I don't know if you can hear me, but what I want to add is we have to take into consideration ethics and human rights, where even without AI, we are not really respecting human rights. What about with AI now, where we don't have any more really control? So I think we need to stress on that because we are all human beings. We are not robots, even if we are going to deal with robots. But human being is a human being, whenever he is and wherever he is, okay? So I think we need to stress on these 2 points, human rights and ethics. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So the final conclusion I would like to ask from you, three panelists can point out that when we talk about redefining, so how we can realign or redefine these aspects of AI, society, governance, at the same time taking care of that triple bottom line or ESG or inclusivity. So if anyone.
Let's take an example with Kiki ma'am, very it's very important point to basically look at the ethics and human angle, right? Even why it happens for those who be human person. AI is another tool that has come up, right? And what it will do whatever you want it to. So it cannot do anything on its own. So we are calling it as artificial intelligence. What basically goes at the back of it is basically an algorithm which is written by someone. And that's where the importance of ethics basically comes in. We are trying to bring in an element of cognitive thinking to the AI. Right? That is the next level where we are basically heading. And when this cognition basically is going to come into the artificial intelligence, like it will be more like more closer to the human intelligence. Still, it won't be human intelligence, that is for sure. And that is where we need to bring in the ethical side of or like the learning, the machine learning algorithms which are basically being put there. That needs to have the ethics part to it. Now, coming to how do we basically bring in the integration of everything about it with the responsible business, right? Take an example of Patagonia. Right? Patagonia is one such company which has been there running successfully by doing the best in the industry way. What are they doing differently? They are bringing the human side of it. And that is how they are basically working in the environment. They are doing good for people, they are doing good for the society, they are doing good for every stakeholder within the environment. The integration, the initial discussion basically started with profit maximization, right? That is what the businesses were there for. Finance people often teach in classes like the shareholders maximization. That is a new term that we have given to the profit maximization. But then the successful businesses like Congo Bumi, like couple of other Japanese companies which are there, right? Like Patagonia, they have shown us the way that if governance, the umbrella term, right? Governance takes care of each and every element that we are discussing now, whether it is ethics, right? Whether it is society, right? Whether it is like the moral bindings or the values that we basically talk about. The role of governance is basically integrating all these things and then getting it into actionable insights, the decision making over there. So if you bring all of these together, like you will be able to redefine businesses, you'll be able to redefine the AI, right? You'll be able to redefine society, the digital divide. AI is a tool, it can create a digital divide. It can also reduce the digital divide. How you are going to use it, that is the most important part. So make use of it in a judicious way, which basically makes all of us human, even the AI as a human over there. So that is something that is very important for me.
Very well, sir.
Just to add one line to it, sir, that the business now mostly focus on the shareholders' values. Instead of that, now we have to focus on the social values. So shareholder values to social values. That's the only mantra.
Thank you, sir. The last, any question from the audience? If anyone wants to ask any question. You heard the name of company which is known as most socially responsible company, Patagonia, right? Don't buy this jacket. I think some students will recall them. Yeah, yes.
Thank you all for your valuable insights regarding AI. I'm a teacher of management, so I would just like to ask that whether currently isn't AI is really overhyped? Are we really giving value to AI more than what it deserves? Because during the industrial revolution, we tried machines, like mechanical machines, which can work like human. Then it came to the era of computers. Then again it was a straight kind of. The computers will take away all very clearly. That actually put it in the right way that it became part of our work culture and working system. Then it came, now it comes to AI. We are actually in the beginning of AI in the world. And all over the world, whatever convention of what is going on, it's not happening because of AI. It is happening because of something else. So aren't we are putting more emphasis on AI and this and that rather or is it really so much transformation can happen due to AI? That's my question.
Thank you for your question. Basically, as you have said that how the AI will be done. Basically, we can take more rational decisions if AI will be. Because the data is returned to the AI. And we will have more information. It's returned that will come to us and I can take better decision. For example, if a doctor is there, so he has all the medical history of a patient, and on the basis of the medical history, which he had to just hitting up his computer, he can diagnose better than anybody else. Right? So AI is going to enhance our decision making. We can able to take more precise decisions. Secondly, AI is not a choice, right? It has become a part of us. Like computer was earlier a choice, but it's not a choice, it's a part of us. Likewise, AI is a part of us, and it will be better to all of us to learn AI as soon as possible if we have to survive the country in our day to day. Understood? Thank you.
I think our Vice Chancellor sir would like to ask a question.
So I would like to ask any question. I will just like to add on analogy because I can see very distinguished parents are on their. It's not today's discussion is not about AI. I don't know why we are always talking AI. I said that out of the four vertices, AI is just one vertex. That's it. The other important vertices are governance, management, business, society. So we are giving more importance to AI than it deserves. And that's what he rightly asked to. You see, I have got a pen. I have got my specs here, my mobile here. Tomorrow I'll be having AI here. And a computer here or something like this. That's it. So we are giving over importance. And that's why I touched on all industrial revolution. This is the fourth industrial revolution. Four Agala. Kaya of the AI. Then it we all had as humanity and as society, we have already withstood three earthquakes. First industrial revolution, second, third, and the fourth. The first industrial revolution was very wrecking. Because it is for the first time that was happening. We are all used to it, nothing. It's our slave. That's it. Cannot go beyond that. And the method that you have described, that's it. We are overrating it. And it is just aligning it. The best way to align is just uska ek pen banao ya lagao. That's it. Nothing more than it. Don't be scared. It's a tool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I think with this, I thank all the panel members sitting on the dais and joining online also. It was a very wonderful session. So that's it. Now over to answer.
Finally, we come to an end of the panel discussion today. I'd love to thank Dr. Gregos Klapita. Sir, if I'm correct pronouncing your name, please. Dr. Gregos Klapita, Professor, Silesian University of Technology, Poland. Dr. Soha Akiki, President and Founder, Paris Graduate School, France. Dr. Subhashish Ray, Professor XLRI, Jamshedpur. Dr. Rajkumar Sharma is not here. Dr. Rajdeep Rao, Professor, CIPM Patna. Dr. KB Singh, Associate Professor, Central University of Jharkhand. And Dr. Amar Eron Tiga, Professor, XISS Ranchi. Last but not least, thank you, Dr. Jha, and our eminent panelists for such a thought-provoking and enriching discussion. The considerations. Rajdeep Rao, sir, thank you again. Adding value to all the discussion, a quick insight at the end by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, was again great. And Ritesh, sir, your insights were great too. Thank you, everyone. We come to the close of the panel discussion now, and we'll be sitting for the first track and the second track, which will run parallelly just after the lunch. We will take a lunch recess now, and we'll meet after 15-20 minutes. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everybody joining online and offline. A great round of applause for our eminent speakers. I'll ask all the faculty members to join us for the group photograph. And even if the participants please to join us, they are most welcome.
Sir, मजा आ गया आप लोग आए सर रहमत है।